we get to school, the thing we do is we go through our classes and then we get to go to lunch. We have a 30-minute period for lunch and you do one of two things. You get in line and you grab a styrofoam tray, a plastic fork wrapped in cellophane, a plastic milk jug, and you sit down and you eat. Or you sit down and you open up your lunchbox and there's Ziploc bags, there's saran wraps, there's plastic coverings to keep your food fresh. You don't think anything about it. You open it up and you eat the food. You talk, you have fun, and then you throw it away in a plastic garbage bag. And you don't think about it again. You and 600 other students in just this school alone, and thousands more in just Gratiot County do this, and we don't think about it. But it is time to start thinking about it because plastic is killing our environment, but we can help. Even if we can't tell the school to start using reusable trays and reusable forks, there are things that we can do in our own homes, and there are facts that we can get that will help eventually. A lot of people continue to use plastic simply because they aren't aware of how cost efficient it is to not use plastic and how easy the changes are. So I will be telling you the stats on recycling. I will be showing you the cost efficiency and how easy it is to switch to non-plastic alternatives in places like your kitchen and your bathrooms. But first we need to know the facts, and the fact is that only 6% of plastic is recycled, leaving 94% unrecycled. We make 260 million tons of plastic each year. That means only 18 million of it is being recycled. To put that in perspective, 260 million tons is equal to roughly 1.7 million blue whales, the largest animal we have on the planet. That's how much plastic we produce in 1 year. And according to National Geographic, there's 8.3 billion tons in the world right now that can take anywhere from 400 to 1,000 years to decompose. That means 400 years from now, the plastic from 2019 and before will have just been starting to break down. And in that 400 years, we will have made 104 billion tons more. That'll take another 400 years to decompose. And the cycle will just keep on going. But there are things that we can do to help, and you don't have to stop showering or stop buying meat and cereal because it's in plastic packaging. There are parts of your home that will naturally bring in plastic, like your kitchen. Your kitchen has Tupperware, it has plastic wrap, saran wrap, it has Ziploc bags, it has plastic bags from your groceries. Then these are all things that you can switch out for almost always cheaper than with their plastic alternative. For example, reusable bags, you can buy 10 of them for $38, which seems like a lot because we live in Michigan, but other states are banning plastic bags or putting a 15% tax on every time you use one, according to ncls.org. There are places like California and Hawaii where you can get fined for even having some in your grocery store. And it's just something to think about with how many states are jumping on the bandwagon of banning plastic bags. Another thing are beeswax cloths. Beeswax cloths are little cloths that you can even make that are dipped in beeswax and you surround them around your food. 14 of them is around $40, which isn't a big amount considering you use around 1,000 Ziploc bags a year, which can cost an upward of $146. It's just a switch that you can make that we don't even think about. You don't even know what beeswax cloths are. And the last thing is your plastic Tupperware. It gets yellow and orange, it gets broken, it gets cracked, and it's just all around not reliable. When I went on Amazon, I spent 2 minutes and I found glass Tupperware for 27 bucks, 24 pieces. And I found plastic Tupperware, 12 pieces of plastic Tupperware for $30. It's just things like that. If we put the minimal effort in, we can find things like that. And a lot of it comes from your hygiene as well. In your bathroom, you have plastic shampoo bottles, you have plastic toothbrushes, soap bottles, all of these things that can be switched out for things like bamboo toothbrushes and shampoo bars, which are cheap and are cost efficient and they're convenient and they don't take up space. I mean, shampoo bars, 1 bar is equal to 3 bottles of shampoo. You can buy 1 bar for cheaper than 1 bottle of shampoo and it'll last you 3 bottles worth. Bamboo toothbrushes, you can buy a bulk for $13 and you can use them all year, whereas 12 of them, 12 plastic toothbrushes, you buy and they're $21 for an equal amount of quality. The only thing I would ask you to get rid of instead of switching out is loofahs, because loofahs are made of plastic, and unless you buy the really expensive sponge brands, you have to throw them away. You have to recycle them, and it's harming the planet, and it looks like lunch for other animals. Uh, the use of plastic is harming and killing our environment, and we don't have a planet B. We don't have a second option. Mars is too far away. And instead of guilting you and showing you pictures of turtles with their tummies full of plastic, I'm up here showing you that there are cost cuts that you can make by switching to these non-plastic alternatives. I'm showing you the stats of recycling and how much recycling isn't actually going on, and places in your home that you can change that will significantly affect the output that you're producing when it comes to plastic. You don't have to be a vegan, and you don't have to stop living in your home and stop showering, but don't let a Ziploc bag control the basis of your